And we're live. I have a question for you out there. Hopefully you have an iPhone. Hopefully you have an iPhone. And if you do, how many tabs do you have open on your Safari? You say you only have 3?
Mm-hmm.
But how much did you have before you deleted it?
Maybe like 30 something at that point.
I am at 197.
That's
I
bad.
erased some.
That's still really bad.
In other news, we're going to talk about Jody Tonga is going to come in and we're going to talk about inflation, interest rates, and we're going to get into that nerdy stuff. We have some client reviews, our safe surveys that we talk about. And then we just then kind of uncovered somebody trying to hide something, huh?
Yeah.
Either we can't say the agent was hiding this very relevant HOA issue, which is increasing fees. But at a minimum, it seems very clear that the seller knew that there was an assessment and then their HOA fee monthly was actually going up. And
I mean, we can't confirm that they knew, but I have a really hard time.
Well, kind of, because Jody said that in the documents, the HOA had received a memo of sorts that said the seller who's selling this home to our buyers said this will be paid off when we sell the house. Our advance assessment, so $10,000 assessment or whatever, we will pay that off when we sell the house. So how are you going to tell the HOA that you're going to do that if you got to know about it in order for you to make that statement? That's like me saying, Mahi, I'll pay you the $20 I owe you later. In that, I'm acknowledging I owe you $20.
Yeah.
They knew.
Well,
And we found out that they knew. You try and sneak one past us.
Oh, no. Anyway,
What?
moving on.
Aiden's trying to tell us not to talk about something. Maybe what I just talked about. We'll see. What do you just say? Okay. Well, the buyer will know if they saw this. You better call them now. This just happened. So Aiden's concerned that our clients are watching right now and that this is how they will have learned. But we have multiple clients under contract, so it's not like they're the only client. Why is he tripping?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I might be a little ahead of my team. Sorry if I am. But on that, even though that is a thing, even though we are in a tricky market for buying condos and townhomes, Aiden is still literally trying to buy a townhome right now.
Yep. He just told Jody he's going to have his other consult.
He was just asking, so if I buy in January, I file my taxes January 1 and buy, you know, he has all these questions and these plans. And so it's not that you don't buy a townhome right now. It's not that you don't buy a condo, but it's that you be really careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you read those condo docs.
And you read the condo docs. And if you are buying with a government loan product, such as a VA loan,
Oh, yeah.
you might think, oh, well, they look into things more, right?
Not necessarily.
In some ways, there's certain areas where they look more, and there's certain areas where they never even look because you're on a VA approved list. You're on a FHA approved list. You're on this approved list. The building, the association, the townhome complex is approved. So they're not looking for years again. And in that time, things could have come up. So just be careful. I would still buy the right townhome right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would. My wife kicked me out. I'll buy the right townhome. In fact, I'd probably buy the one that we're selling in Mililani if my wife kicked me out. So yeah. Do we have safe surveys that you're gonna pop up, Ken?
A lot of safe surveys.
So our safe surveys are the client satisfaction call that one of our assistants does when you're actively buying, selling, or you're in escrow or just closed. Then a call and ask a few questions, and it's Derek's asked me to call you and ask how things are going. Do you need anything from Derek and the team? And this week we had a bunch, and they're all very positive. So we may brag on ourselves a little bit.
Let's read a couple.
You gonna read a couple?
Yeah. Start with Natasha.
Okay.
It's the last one, Ken. Are you going to bring it up? Yeah. Okay. So this is for...
On this note, we're getting our new studio soon. So some of these, like, we got to talk to Kenji. We're going to have a whole monitor set up and everything. So
it's pretty exciting. It's going to look so cool.
It's going to look so cool.
Yeah.
That's incoming.
Okay. First one from Natasha. This is for Kenny. He's been great. He responds usually when I don't expect him to. He's been awesome. So what I think she means is a lot of our clients are, transitioning over. Maybe they're PCSing over. They're in a different time zone than us. So we have clients sometimes who will text us and we're like, don't worry about the time zone. Like, if we're sleeping, it'll be on do not disturb or whatever. So they'll text us. It's like 4 a.m. here. And sometimes we'll respond and be like, oh my God, like, don't talk to me right now. Like, It's 4 a.m. over there.
Yeah.
So that's probably what she's talking about. Kenny's on it. He's also Papa Bear, got a couple littles, so he's up early. If we're up early, which most of us are, we're going to be replying. Let's go to Richard. So we are in contract with Richard and Melissa. Love them. This is for young Aiden. We love this young man. He's doing a great job for us. He's continuing to do a great job for us, and we appreciate the work he's putting in. So I don't know what else we can say other than we really appreciate him and his work. Yay. Good job.
I told Aiden I'm going to be disappointed if he ends up on their life insurance policy.
Oh, my gosh. They're going to adapt him.
I feel like team leader got to have
They're going to adapt him. We're not even invited to the barbecue.
Yeah.
The housewarming barbecue. Only Aiden.
All right.
Do a couple
what else
more.
we got?
Let's do hunters for Kenny. And then maybe we'll move on to the questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
From Hunter for Kenny. He's awesome. We've even tried some stuff that's unrelated to housing, but related to moving to Hawaii, and he's so knowledgeable. I would say he's been great. I think we're going to do some virtual showings tomorrow or the day after with Kenny on some houses, but yeah, he's been doing great. Hunter and Kimmy, they came into the office. They were here on a little house hunt trip, and so now they're switching over from, they did some in-person, and now they're doing virtual, so, obviously, we love when you guys fly over and come visit us, and we can take you to houses,
Yeah,
boots on the
they're
ground.
not local already. Yeah.
Boots on the ground if you're
on the mainland.
If you're on the mainland, though.
That reminds me, total kind of pivot. We have 2 townhomes in Kaneohe coming up.
Yes.
So if you're looking for a townhome in Kaneohe, and you might be one of our already clients, you might be someone on the fence who's gonna call us soon. We have 2 townhomes in Kaneohe coming up soon. Reach out to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have been participating in those little one question a day questionnaires that we've been putting up in our descriptions. So we're gonna get to some of those today. So let's see, this first one. This is from an anonymous viewer. Derek mentioned in a previous live the pre-sale of condos at Koa Ridge is not going well. The developers have since put the brakes on completing the remaining buildings within that complex. Do you think it's due to the combination of high interest rates plus the unknown and potential high cost of maintenance fees? Okay.
Can you read the question again for me?
Oh my God, that was such a long question.
Well, summarize it.
Okay, so do we think that Malukoa being not doing well and getting
the Koa Ridge.
Yeah.
Is because of
Is
it?
that because of high interest rates and potential high costs of maintenance fees? So sure, I feel like interest rates are always going to affect sales and everything, but I think a big thing for that specifically is it's not a cheap price point. It's expensive. It's an expensive price point.
They're selling this really expensive, like town priced kind of condo out in Waipio.
Yes,
and they couldn't sell it.
Yeah, and the thing with that is they're pricing in what will be there later, but that stuff's not there yet. So the development as far as like the commercial stuff that's going to make that price make sense is not there currently. Right. So it just, I have a contact in the developer's office, the sales office, and they told me that they're putting, they're stopping, they're pushing pause on that, and they're going to push commercial first instead. To drive in more interest of people wanting, more stuff to do, more, more action, more walkability, all that stuff.
Yeah, think about it. In Manhattan, in downtown San Francisco or Chicago or Denver, anywhere, there's these small places to live that are very expensive. They're more expensive than bigger places to live further away.
Yeah.
That's how real estate in cities goes. Even on a more micro scale, this grand plan community, they're trying to sell this this vision that involves culture, walkability, things, commercial,
Restaurants,
shopping,
cafes downstairs, like a plaza down.
Yeah, they're shooting in front of the target, in front of the moving target, but they're shooting way in front of it. They shot too far in front of it. Will people value these? What was it? A 3-bedroom for up to one?
It was like $1 million. Like
close to 1.1 maybe.
Something. I know it was over $1 million, I believe.
There's no precedent for that anywhere in the space.
Central Oahu.
Ken,
right there?
cue my screen. So, is there a precedent for $1 million condos around here?
Yes.
Yes. Is there a precedent for $1 million condos? I mean, Kalihi that way.
I mean, that's almost like not even like
Aiea,
not even really Kailua even.
the Salt Lake.
No.
Maybe in Kailua and Hawaii Kai might you have
Barely
something
even.
of that sort.
Yeah.
But they're trying to develop that here in Waipio.
Yeah.
They're trying to make this kind of condo market, which let's talk about it. In Kailua, in the downtown, where these condos are,
there's like one building that's $1 million. That's the newer one.
In this area, in this maybe like the penthouse at Windward Passage or
the ones that are more fronting Kailua Beach Road here. I forget what it's called, but that's the newest.
Oh, the
'Cause
we always know it.
I know. I can't. I always brain fart this one.
Because it's a weird. It has like an AE in the Hawaiian.
I can't remember.
Anyways,
But it's like the new
Malu.
No.
I don't know why.
Whatever.
I don't know it right now.
Kai Malanai? No.
Kamalanai.
Is it Kamalanai?
I think so. Anyway,
It might be.
we usually know this, but also in Windward Cove in Windward Harbor, there's the ones where the ceiling. Kamalanai.
Yeah.
There's the ones where the ceiling or there's like a rooftop deck.
Oh, even those aren't $1 million.
But those aren't even $1 million.
No.
So we go to Hawaii Kai. Are there $1 million condos with crazy ocean views here? Like it's some, but hardly, barely. And so Koa Ridge, to answer your question, why couldn't they sell $1 million condos? Well, because that's not a thing over here.
Not yet.
That's not a thing west of Honolulu.
Yeah.
It's just
even when you look at but we're talking like a very early entry into a 20 plus year development, right? We're on like year 3 or something. We're very early into this, and it's just nothing is activated yet. Like even if you look at like Ward Village, which is like half built out, right?
Yeah.
Like the more things got activated, the more the prices went up and the more the value was there for like, oh, okay, now there's actually restaurants. Now that building that had all the commercial downstairs, that's open now. So now I get it.
Yeah.
Like now I can buy into that culture. It's not there. Plus it's like Waioha is selling for the same price. That's a single family home, CPR style.
Yeah.
That's their CPR style single family home. So I'm like, it's Koa Ridge already. It's going to have a lower maintenance fee.
right.
And a lower price point. Like I'm just
And I can get it sooner.
yeah, and a garage, and like a yard. I'm just doing that.
My friend who's a homeowner and an investor in Florida, he was saying like, I own this one, but it's going to be shitty because, NSFW. He's like, that's what he says. It's going to be junk because they're going to put in like a Target and have like 300 new homes right next to this other home that I own that's a little old junk one. So his thing is like, I'm currently a 5 and now a bunch of 10s are going to show up. I'm going to look like a 4 or a 3. That's the way he viewed it. And I told him, no, bro.
Yeah, no.
All these nice homes come in a Starbucks and a Chick-fil-A.
Now you're a 7.
Yeah, you're a 7.
Yeah.
You go up because they're 12s.
Yeah.
That's how that works. And so that's what they're trying to do in Koa Ridge is they need more stuff. So anyways, we beat that one to death.
Yeah.
What's
Oh shoot.
texting your honey?
Well, I was reading what he said. Sorry, babe, not looking. Since maintenance fees due to insurance are increasing in drastic amounts, do you think developers will stop building condos or multifamily homes? Do you think it's better to buy into existing condos, multifamily communities, since there should already be reserves built up, versus buying new developments where there is none? Okay, no, not in my experience, because these new developments are the ones who are getting the appropriate insurance premiums they need because the problem is now present.
But they haven't been immune from being underinsured either.
No.
But
That's a new. Like brand new, like not like if you buy like
3 years ago.
Nahele or something, you know, like that's new, but it's not brand new.
People got their homes before all of these insurance problems.
Yes.
The old insurance culture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like when we go to like, because that's such a huge question now. We like, I think Aiden came with me. We went to Ward Village.
Okay.
And we asked them, okay, so any of these like new constructions that they're buying into right now that's not built yet, what's the insurance? That's going to be totally fine. 100% coverage is going to exist. However, something they sold a year ago may not, you know, so.
I still think it's a big, it depends.
100%. It depends.
Who's building it? Who's gonna be the property management company? Is it like a
That's true because you know what? Your new construction.
Kobayashi.
Oh yeah.
So like Kobayashi, where
they gonna keep it?
They're still involved for like a year of transition. Is it a mainland builder who just the thing is to just get the thing up and there's probably get an association going. Who cares? We're done. Mm-hmm. I think it just depends. And yeah, could there be an association? Because to the person's question, or to their point, if this building, you look at the books and they got $1 billion in reserves, do I want to buy in that building? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's a pretty safe and secure bet.
Mm-hmm. But that's like generally just not the experience.
That's generally not the case. Mm-hmm. So, but I still think it's just it depends.
Yeah.
It's a case
yeah,
by
it
case.
definitely depends. In old buildings, you should neither say it's bad to buy in them because there's just all this, you know, you're guaranteed going to have underinsurance and, you know, there's not enough reserves to recoup that. And it's also, you cannot say, oh, because they're older, they have tons of reserve. It just really depends on how the management is managing the portfolio for, you know, the complex or the building or whatever. It matters what kind of amenities exist there.
But tell me this, like a Ku'ulaku in Mirirani, there's been a reasonable, steady HOA increase over time, like the expected 2 or 3% or whatever. Would you not, assuming the reserves are fair, a little better than moderately good, and you've seen a steady, you know, you've seen that their HOA increases have been steady and managed well. Mm-hmm. Is that, you know, it's proven. Does that not give you some level of security?
It definitely
over
does.
Brand new and you don't know who and what?
But that's just the other side of the coin all the time. Like people like new because they want new. Yeah. People like old because they like established, you know? So it's generally two different markets. Generally it's two different, you know, mindsets of.
Not many people are like running a spreadsheet
for like
deriving data
or a word village, you know.
AI tell you, should I buy old or should I buy new? It's more of a feeling thing either way, right? Mm-hmm. And then within the one you prefer, do the best you can.
Yeah.
But if I'm shooting in the dark, I just go new. I try to go new. You know, I probably do.
I'm 1 minute late for my doctor's appointment.
Go.
Okay.
Jody's gonna come jump in.
Okay.
I'll carry the rest of it.
Shoots.
I got this.
Okay, shoots then.
Okay, go.
Okay, bye guys. You want me to get her now?
Well, she's on the call, but yeah, after. Yep. How's the side cameras? I'll mess up. I'll bust up. All right. Well, I'm going to open up my YouTube, see what questions we have. As always, put your questions in the comments. We'll get to them later if we don't get to them now. Kenji's actually started doing like this interview segment where we're posting. And let us know if you guys have feedback on that. We've been posting like a 1 to 2 minute video every day or a lot of days instead of just our big 20-minute video every Sunday. What do you guys think about that? How's your experience been? Do you like seeing these little doses or it's not really something you pay attention to? Let us know. I want to know what you guys think. All right, pulling up our live stream now. Oh, there's a delay. Hello from Philly, Tony T. What's up, Tony? Actually, maybe Koa Ridge, but we'll have Mahi respond. Did we respond to that? Oh, do you think there will ever be a senior community in Hawaii? Well, there are senior communities already, like Olaloa. If you go to my maps and I type in Olaloa and Mirirani Mauka, I think it's this one. Yep. So here, near the beginning of Mililani Mauka, near Mililani Mauka Elementary, there's this community, Olaloa. Here, I'll drop my guy there. Let me see. I drop my guy at the... So there is this small community, gated community there. It's a seniors community. Now, what I think you're talking about, but it's small, right? There's probably, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred homes at best in there. And you can go back to me if you haven't already. But I think what you're talking about is the villages in Florida, like a big grand planned retirement community. And I do not think there will be that. I don't think the economics works out. Typically for most of us when we retire, our income's going to go down, but then like our medical bills are going to go up. Affordability doesn't get better in retirement for most people. And so will there be a whole retirement community in New York City, in like Manhattan? Will there be a whole retirement community in San Francisco, in these expensive places? Well, Hawaii, Honolulu, Oahu is like that. Could someone maybe build something on like the Big Island? I mean, it's still on a national scale. It's still pretty expensive, but so yeah, I don't see like a villages in Florida type thing, like a like tens of thousands of homes that are retirement. Yeah, I don't think so. I think just the economics doesn't work out. It's too expensive to do so. Jody is awesome. Yep, Jody is helping a client, and then she's going to come jump on. M is from Arizona. How's it going? Santa Barbara. Erod, Santa Barbara. Another one, 808 to 805. Cali. Where's 805 in California? Oh, that's Santa Barbara. Oh, okay. Lukahi for life, California. Shout out to you guys. I got something that'll spur some comments. What do you guys think about the election? Let me move this chair out of the frame. What do you guys think about the election results? What do you guys think that means for the economy, for the housing market, since we're on a real estate channel? What do you guys think? Leave us some comments. Now, we did also, did you watch our video that was about, who do we think Hawaii is going to vote for? Because a couple of people were mad. They're like, oh, you seem biased towards Trump. That's just who we found that day. Maybe the more, the Democrats weren't as vocal. They didn't want to, because I went to multiple people. Who do you think's going to vote? Who do you think's going to vote? And I'll move over, Kench. And then they were like, a lot of people just wouldn't talk to me. They wouldn't talk to me. And I feel weird pressuring them, right? But the people who are like, Trump, baby, that maybe Trumpers are just louder. But that's just the video we ended up with. If we ended up with a video with 8 out of 10 people mentioning Kamala, that's what we would have shown. So let me know if you guys watch that. And also let me know what you guys think about the election results and the economy, because that's what we're going to get into next. We just had a big conversation about, should I say your brother's analysis? Yeah. Your guys together? Just...
an economic analysis.
Yeah, a conversation about macroeconomics.
Economic theory.
Tariffs, immigration, the Fed consistently not doing what they say or not having the effect that they want, or just all of the things.
Yeah. And
what we think it might do to the housing market over time. I see your question. Many people... we'll get to that after Ko'olina. And then IW or LW says many peeps voted for Trump, even those that didn't vocalize it as well. I understand. Yeah. I mean, Trump won by a lot. I was just kind of trying to stay neutral in the video that we shot that some more progressive liberals were mad about. Those are just the people we found that day. One person texted me.
Where were you?
We went to Waikiki and then we went to downtown, like Bishop Street. Like I figured there'd be some good classic Union Democrats,
right.
But I think they just weren't willing to speak on camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then there was one lady, she had a POTUS shirt on. I was like, who do you think's going to win? She's like, who do you think I think? Look at my shirt. But she had a mask on. She had a mask on and she wouldn't talk to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so a lot of people think Trump good for markets, Trump good for economy, Trump good for money, Trump businessman. I'm not trying to sound like a caveman. I'm just oversimplifying it. And so therefore, Trump probably good for housing market. Maybe, but maybe not.
I think most people think that it is.
Well, I don't know. I have some really liberal, like pissed off people that I know who think that the world might end. So he's not good at business. He filed bankruptcies. He's horrible for everything.
Well, why do they think the world's going to end? Because we're going to go to war?
He's in cahoots with Russia. What have I heard? I heard that he's in cahoots with Russia. He's horrible at business. He manipulates the markets with his tweets.
I mean,
Tariffs are bad. The tax cuts only help the rich, which kills the economy and spending. Yeah, just the things that someone on the opposite side would say. Also, if Kamala were elected, there would be, she's not smart. She doesn't understand economics. Immigration is going to kill the economy. They would have, there's very considerate people in the center. I can't believe I found myself on this topic. They're very considerate people that are centrist, but on the far sides, it's going to be bad.
right,
If the other side wins, it's bad.
Right.
The sky falls.
right.
But there's also a conversation around why Trump could be bad, really bad for the housing market.
Yeah,
If you cause a lot of inflation through tariffs,
yep,
I mean, worst case, tariffs cause job shrinkage.
right.
And look, I guarantee you, someone with a MAGA hat right now is saying, no, tariffs mean that they're going to start making, Toyotas in America, and it'll cause more jobs. And I understand that thought process, but there is a conversation. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm not a macroeconomics expert, not an economist, but there's a conversation to be had that would say that tariffs makes things more expensive, reduces.
I mean, that's not a conversation to be had. That's a fact.
Okay. Yeah. Makes things more expensive, therefore reducing discretionary spending, therefore causing job shrinkage, but all the while still causing inflation, which a term I've heard it, but I guess I never looked into it, and I need to do some more research, stagflation. But it's not smart not to consider all outcomes, right? If we're going to war, we got 1 million people and the Trojans only got 10. That's like, okay, but let's consider how could they win, right? Like you want to consider all things. So it's smart to consider how could it go bad.
Right,
And that's, the tariffs may or may not be what Donald Trump thinks they're going to be.
right,
Interest rates, although the Fed has said we're going to cut rates and the 30-year rate should go down, it's not necessarily the case.
no.
So what do you think people should be thinking out there? How should they behave? I know we don't want to tell you. We want to give financial advice here, but what are some conversations to be had around that? Like, you could get scared and go all cash. So if
Right.
you have $500,000 sitting in the bank and you have a $500,000 loan on your house and you were about to buy another one, you could be, I'm going to pay off my house, hunker down, I have a paid off home, I'm good.
Right,
Or you could hedge and you could take that 500 and put it down on another home or two and have more assets for when the inflation increases,
right.
which makes you more money. Now, is it more, if you get more dollars, are they more valuable? Do you have more purchasing power? Maybe, maybe not, but you have more dollars. You're keeping up or beating inflation.
You have more net worth.
You have more net worth, which play, I kind of have that. I don't necessarily have $500,000, but I have to decide, do I want to stay in my little house that I own or do I want to
Right.
get a bigger one?
Right,
And affordability is not good. Like, I don't even like buying at today's prices, but I also know intelligently that prices are unlikely to drop unless something catastrophic happens.
right,
So I should probably buy if I want to keep up with, outpace inflation and build my wealth. But paying off my house seems so good too.
I mean, I don't think paying off your house is necessary. I'm always in the camp of like, it all comes down to your affordability
Yeah.
and your financial balance sheet. So if you're comfortable based on income coming in and liabilities or monthly payments going out, as far as other auto loans, credit cards, all your household expenses, kid stuff, all that stuff. If you're comfortable, why not let that money earn money?
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to sit on this thing and be like, oh, it's the end all be all. My goal in life is to have a house that's free and clear.
Well, Dave Ramsey would say, because debt is dumb.
Right. And I totally disagree.
Yeah.
Because if your 500,000 is now earning you money and it's yielding you money, your house is still appreciating.
Yeah.
It appreciates regardless of if you owe $1, $0, 10,000, 500,000,
The whole thing.
1 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's still gonna grow at a certain rate, and that is gonna bring you value.
Yeah. Wood, lumber, copper, shingles, dirt, whatever else goes in a house, and labor is not getting cheaper.
Exactly.
So inherently, the house can't get cheaper.
Right. And we have Hawaii.
Yeah.
We have our fixed space issue.
Yeah.
There's only so many places that we can develop.
Right. Right.
So that is something that combats prices going down. It's different than Henderson, Nevada,
Right.
right?
They just keep expanding.
Right.
Yeah, like there's another YouTube channel guy, probably one of the only people in real estate I look up to. When I look around real estate,
Wow.
one of the only
Okay.
agents.
Okay.
Yeah, because when we get our business this way, and we have high trust, and we're not, our agents, Aiden, Mahi, they're not spending time going over these scripts and sales tactics.
Oh,
and when
right.
they do this, you overcome the objection by doing this. And
Right.
you work with a lot of different kinds of agents,
Yeah,
and
I
like
know.
clients that come from their marketing or sources or buying leads or whatever. There's one guy who I look up to. He's big scaled in a big American city, so there's a lot of more scale available. Their total market cap is like 10 times ours. The amount of transactions that happen and stuff. And but anyways, I look at their content and they're always talking about they're building 10,000 homes here.
Right.
Oh, they're breaking ground to do this here. They're breaking ground to do that.
Right.
They can make content that we just can't make on this channel.
Right.
We have a couple of developments, we have a handful of developments, mostly 2 of them in not already populated areas, and the rest and already just building amongst really popular. There's not much available here
Right.
in the way
Yeah.
of new construction.
Right.
So,
and so
supply and demand is always going to favor the person who owns the house.
exactly.
Yeah,
And so if you're gonna let your money
Almost
just
always.
sit there,
almost always.
if you're gonna let your money just sit there and not work for you, you're losing out on a stream that you could be yielding.
Right.
And if you're gonna talk about risk aversion, right? It's like, okay, I'm gonna go all in on this stock or this mutual fund or this cryptocurrency
Well,
or bonds or a physical asset.
Are you going to buy another house soon?
I mean,
You don't have the need to.
we own a good amount of property,
Yeah.
and we have a good expenditure as well.
Yeah.
The kids are traveling to the mainland. I have 2 that go to the mainland for extracurriculars at least 4 times a year. So that's 8 trips to the mainland
Did
per
she
year.
get that thing?
Not yet, but she's still in the running.
Oh, okay. I
So,
got you.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be buying a house anytime this or next year. Well, definitely not this year.
But you're not going to just have it in the bank under a mattress.
Oh, there is none.
Yeah. You don't keep money.
There is none. There's cash.
invested.
There's cash, like literal dollar bills
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? And then everything else is invested.
Yeah.
There's we don't have anything in savings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's look at some of the comments. Many Pete's voted for Trump, even those that didn't vocalize it as well. Understood.
Right.
Republicans are
totally
louder.
agree.
Republicans are louder. Just going by my friends and family. That's Lokahi for life. And then I LOL to that. Corey LeBlanc says, I think it sucks. Like always, though. The rich will get richer, but Hawaii will probably benefit in a way from people wanting to move away from the mess on the mainland. How does Hawaii benefit, though? We don't want to lose our people. There's a reason why there's so many outlet malls and the U.S. sides of the northern and southern borders. Those countries have tariffs on foreign goods. So clothes, electronics are cheaper in the U.S. Are they, though? Like the like say you want to buy a MacBook in Tijuana. I don't know the answer to this. I'm just thinking out loud. Isn't the value, the strength of the dollar versus like the Mexican peso so much better that it would still make it cheaper to buy it in Mexico? I thought people go there for things. I don't know, though, so let me know where you live. I'm just thinking out loud. DL Mosa.
Yeah, I mean, and for us, it is going to still be cheaper with the tariffs. For the most part.
What will be cheaper?
What people are consuming.
Wait. So a spatula costs $1. You add a tariff. The spatula won't cost less. It'll cost more.
Right, but it's still going to be cheaper theoretically than the American-made. That's what
spatula.
You mean.
Yeah. So people we're talking about it a little bit ago.
He's saying that it's cheaper in the U.S. than in Mexico.
Yeah.
For example.
Yeah.
So in our case.
Well, the Chinese spatula in the U.S. I think might still be cheaper than like the local Mexican-made spatula. I don't know. Just because when it was made over there, it was made for cents. Whereas Mexico, I don't know. I'm not an economist. DL Mosa said, the concept of tariffs is to ultimately bring back manufacturing to the U.S. Thought process to that is bring back jobs. Yes, we understand that. The challenge is, will that happen? I think what the pessimist thinks is Mazda. Automobiles may not be the best example, but let's say that Fords for a vehicle cost $50,000 and a Mazda for the similar mini SUV costs $30,000. Now you have this tariff, and then the Mazda SUV were to cost $40,000, still manufactured overseas. Would they necessarily move manufacturing here? No, not if it's $40,000 and you're still cheaper than the Ford Explorer. You just buy a more expensive Mazda. That's like inflation, right? It depends. We'll see how it plays out if he's as bullish on tariffs as he says he will be. But the pessimist would say, no, it'll just make things more expensive. It'll just stagnate the free market and the trading of goods, but the jobs won't actually come back.
And they might come back, but that's not because of tariffs.
Well,
that's because of other funding and programs and incentives that are going to be done to bring back manufacturing to the U.S.
Yeah, but let's say if you throw tariffs around like the way he says he's going to, I'm sure some companies will try to move some things back, like some small percentage just because of the tariffs. But is the juice worth the squeeze? I think is the juice worth the squeeze? And in the MAGA utopia, yes, in the MAGA utopia, tariffs, and then America's like 1960 again, post World War II. We return to post World War II America, but in 2025. I think that some reasonably smart, pragmatic people say that sounds nice, but it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. Things will get a lot more expensive. Some historians may say that you had the Roaring 20s, and then tariffs were implemented, and then you had the Great Depression. So, I don't know. I'm just trying to keep up. Don't throw stones at me. Throw comments. I'm just trying to learn. Tariffs should bring back jobs to American people. Yes, taxes may increase, but if he's cutting taxes in other areas, it should balance out the books. I'm telling you guys, I feel like I'm kind of smart, taxes? But I don't understand this at the level to say things so declaratively. I don't know. Well, where would he cut taxes, right? I think this person's probably thinking like at the corporate level.
Right.
Right? And so, yeah. Renee Lopez, what happened to the California lady? Which California lady? Aloha, my mortgage is 3.5%. So if the interest rate goes lower than 3.5%, then I consider paying it off. Guaranteed compound saving at 3.5. Until then, I buy T-bills earning 4.5%. Yeah, beating it by 1%.
That's great.
But
that's a great, extremely conservative strategy.
The 1% earned on the T-bill experiences taxes on those gains, though, right? So it's not just profit. It's not just 1% profit, because then you got to pay taxes. So people will say, "But I keep my money in the S&P 500 versus X." But the problem is when you make $100 in the S&P, if your marginal tax rate's 30%, you make 70, and I hate that. I like my $1 million house going up to 1.1 million, and then if I find a flip or a small business investment, I can leverage that and have access to $100,000. That's not a tax event. I love that. Renee Lopez, I can answer the Mexican question. Yes. What is it? Yes, what? Yes, so it's cheaper in Mexico?
It's cheaper to get a MacBook in the U.S. than in Mexico.
Renee, can you clarify which is cheaper? Buy the MacBook in Tijuana or in San Diego? Aloha State of Mind. Same concept as Drill Baby Drill. We produce oil here instead of being at the mercy of other countries dictating the price and profits, say in the U.S. I like the sounds of that. I can only know a few things at a crazy deep level, and that's real estate, jiu-jitsu, Coast Guard, my family, literally like 5 things in life. But I like the sounds of that. I like the sounds of us having energy autonomy and independence, especially if we have more than sufficient energy stores. Yeah. And then even enough to sell it and create revenue and increase GDP. Like, sounds amazing. Aloha, my favorite Hawaii real estate team. Thank you, amen. Interest earned on T-bills are state tax-free, unlike money market. Oh, are they federal tax-free? Hawaii would actually. So if you're saying they're state tax-free, it would depend on state to state, right? Because the feds couldn't implement state-free taxes across 50 states. That's not how that works, right? So I don't know.
I don't know if that's federal either. I
Do you hold T-bills?
No.
Yeah.
It's a little too conservative.
Is D over there?
He left.
Oh, he left?
But he definitely knows the answer to that.
He would know the answer to that for sure. Yeah. He's very into the markets and taxes, etc. Well, what are rates doing right now?
They're still on the rise.
Going up? Mm-hmm. Expect that.
Like yesterday, and then the day before, and 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 the day before, since November 4th.
When do you think
they could
go down again?
It's not a lot.
Yeah, but like we're trying to put this one Mililani deal together, and small amounts of interest rate movement matter. Mm-hmm. And so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think until some stuff happens, right? Like until the next Fed meeting, until the next thing that President-elect
tweets
Trump says, until the next thing that the current administration does in terms of like giving Ukraine access to long-range missiles. I mean, all of that type of stuff does have the day-to-day impact on rates, to where we could catch a blip. But then, you can't just time when you're going to get accepted into escrow and be like, okay, well, it's a blip, so now we want to get accepted.
Right.
So that's why you can't time your offers.
Yeah.
You have to believe in the strategy and know the numbers.
Okay. And
have a good lender that keeps you up to speed with like, okay, yesterday versus today, because yesterday versus today could be increase in $85 a month. And also a slight increase in overall closing costs and the amount required out of pocket. So we had, 3 recently get accepted, and they knew to the day, they knew what they were committing to as compared to when maybe I sent them numbers 4 days ago, because
Yeah.
that's when the offer was submitted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple more comments. You have to pay federal, but state tax is free. Look it up.
That's great.
Yeah, well, look it up. It just seems interesting. It doesn't seem to make sense. You can see how it doesn't make sense to me that a treasury bill, which is a U.S. treasury bill, is not taxable at the state level, but it is at the federal.
I guess because, I mean, it does kind of make sense.
Well, I could see the
because
feds
they're
would say, "I
you're
want my money."
investing in us,
But-
in the federal government.
Well, how
so-
could they prohibit the states from charging that, like a California or Hawaii, a blue state, from saying, well, yeah, but we want our taxes too?
Yeah, it's surprising to me, but it does make sense.
Well, because it's income. I don't know. Because it's not considered income at the federal level, and it's an income tax at the state level. I don't
The
know.
interest,
Yeah.
the interest is income, but it's like when you get back, if you invest in $1,000 T-bill,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you get back your principal, that's not income.
Right. But if you make $100, you make a 10% return, that 100 is income.
Right.
But he's saying, or she's saying, that 100 is only taxed at the federal level, not at the state. It's just, I don't know how that works, but thank you for informing me. I believe you. You sound convicted. Can you touch on management companies and how to avoid the ones that are corrupt? Cough, cough, Hawaiiana. Who is it yesterday?
Honestly, it's asking questions, knowing who's on your board, and asking the right questions. Because I think that I am guilty of it, like not being overly involved in my HOA.
Yeah, me either. I don't want to be involved in my HOA. But
And stuff happens, and there's fees where you're like, afterwards, looking at the budget, it's like, that doesn't sound right. And I think it's cut down a lot since like a decade ago,
yeah.
for example. But
Oh, for sure. I have a friend who owns a contracting company, and he's 100%. We walk these complexes, and when we're bidding for these huge jobs, these like multi-million-dollar jobs, the HOA manager is like, who's gonna slide me a little something,
Right.
you know? And he's like, it's just part of the game. He's like, you got to do it, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, but I've heard someone just yesterday was like, freaking Hawaiiana.
But that's how you're gonna. That's
Aiden.
how you're gonna be able to identify an issue and call them out on it.
Here's a thing that could be true. Hawaiiana, on average or over a recent amount of time, could have had more HOA increases and off budgets. It's possible. I'm not saying it is, but it's possible. That does not mean that Hawaiiana does not have really greatly managed buildings within their overall portfolio. So to Jody's point, like pay attention to who and what when you're looking at a specific building.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Tairaki. I think we're going to probably wrap this up soon. So Tairaki, do you think new construction like Keikainani will have a positive appreciation effect on other nearby neighborhoods like Ocean Point? Thanks. Yeah. I think that if you own $1 million home or a $1.5 million home and they build a bunch of 2.5s near you, 3.2s near you, that's good
Is that
for
how
you.
much they are?
Yeah, Keikainani is like 2.5 starting,
Really?
yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Do you know Keikainani? You know Ocean Point, though, right?
Yes, of
You've
course.
Done hundreds of loans in there, probably. You know How Bush?
Yeah.
Do you? Eva Beach? Like old Eva Beach?
Yes, old Eva.
The beach. Oh, wait. No, I was on the wrong one. So over here, it's like beach park fronting because the actual ocean's pretty far away. But yeah, that's Keikainani's over here. Like going into How Bush. Where am I off? Right here? On Papipi. Oh, yeah. This strip. So that's Keikainani.
Wow.
Going
Yeah,
into
I mean,
How
that's
Bush.
definitely going to help.
Anytime you own a certain home and they build luxury around you, it helps. We went over it earlier in the stream, but my friend was saying he owns this rental in Florida, and he's like, but it's junk because they're building these like 300 beautiful homes near me. I was like, no, bro, that's good. And he's thinking like, well, I'm a 5, but these 10s are showing up, so I look like a 4. I'm like, no, you're a 5 12s are showing up, so you're a 7. Like that's how that works. And he was like, oh, okay, so I should keep it. I was like, yeah, keep. They're gonna build all the new homes, a Target, a Starbucks. Like, keep that.
Yeah.
So all right, guys. Well, we got started a little late because we're having this big conversation on economics. It's an interesting time. We have multiple listings coming up. We have multiple listings posted. We have some people that want to do deals off market. So if you're a buyer, we need to know what you want to have the best chance of putting something creative together for you. Now, let me be real. The more likely thing is that we find a home that's on market and that's what you end up, buying. But you don't want to leave off the table the opportunity for us to like this Kaneohe townhome that we are actually going to show one of our buyers who Kenny's helping probably in the next few days. This Kunia home that we tried to put together with one of our clients for a VA assumption. Seller got a little scared, but that always was and still is a possibility. Makakilo flip off market. We have all these things.
Yeah.
Kapolei near Ko'olina, we have one probably.
And it's only going to get more.
It only gets more and more as our circle expands.
Right.
These things only become more common.
Right.
So let us know what you need. Get pre-approved with Jody. And that's another thing. Get pre-approved. I want to get pre-approved at least once a year. I might even be planning to buy, but it's basically a de minimis, like negligible what it does to my credit. But the clarity I have on my financial picture is great. So why not get pre-approved? Yeah, my planning, right?
Because I had a call with someone that I don't know how they called us, but they were like, yeah, we're like 5 years out, right? And then I said, okay, no worries. I'm fine with 5 years out. Like, it's smart, right? And then we went over their numbers and they're like, that's what we qualify for. And so they're buying. Like, they're like in the market now.
We've had multiple local people who are on the mainland call and say, well, I want to buy now because I'm definitely coming home and I don't feel like it's going to be better when I want to come home.
Yeah.
So I'm going to buy now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Jasmine and Albert, shout out to them. I think I have to look up what their home is worth. I bet you their home has gone up like $500,000. It's a very expensive home to start with. But they bought 2 years before they could come home.
Where was that?
Hawaii Kai.
Oh, yeah, Hawaii Kai.
Yeah.
But where in Hawaii Kai?
If you didn't ask, if you didn't ask me, I could say it. It's
yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but it's gorgeous.
If you didn't ask me,
I'm sorry.
No. No, it's not Mariners Ridge. It's the nicer ridge. Napali Havale. Yeah. It's the see, I'm blanking again. What's the it's the too much stuff in my head.
It's the
what's the
Hawaii Lower Ridge.
It's the Hawaii Lower Ridge of Hawaii Kai.
Of Hawaii Kai, yeah.
Yeah. It's the most elevated homes. Like wedding cake houses and ridges and infinity pools. It's like the nicest thing you can find.
And the view.
In Hawaii. Crazy view. But point is they bought now for later. They bought later for now. Or
now.
They bought later. A few years ago for now. They just moved home.
Yeah. They're here now.
And if they hadn't, they'd be paying, I don't know. I have to do hundreds of thousands more.
It was so smart, and they were extremely strategic. We put a lot of thought into that.
Their financial advisor told them not to.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they told them not to.
Well, I'm glad they didn't listen.
Yeah, I mean, financial advisor is just a human with their own bias.
Right.
On that, I'll nerd out again. Warren Buffett made a bet with these two guys from like Swiss Bank, or two hotshot Wall Street guys. And he said, we'll bet $1 million. You guys invest. I believe it was for 10 years. You guys invest, do whatever you want, as long as it's in the market. Not private money, not private equity, but invest in the market. And I'll put my money in VTSAX, in the index fund. And we'll see who wins. And every time you check on it, he is destroying them. These are fancy Rolex wearing, Rolls Royce driving, like big shots on Wall Street. And Warren Buffett said, I'll put my $1 million into an index fund and just let it do whatever the market does, and I will beat you. and he's beating them, or he did beat them or whatever. So that asset manager.
On top of that, nobody knows what to invest in.
That's what I'm saying.
Even if you follow like the Think Big, Work Smaller, whatever those guys are, I read their stuff like at least once a week.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't be like, heck yes, I'm 10K here.
Well, here's
20K
the thing.
here.
That asset manager, do they make any money when you buy $3 million in real estate? They make nothing.
No.
Their fees come from the money they manage. So they have an incentive to tell you no, right? I'm not saying this person was malicious but you ask a surgeon if you should cut, they're going to say yes.
Right.
And so you ask an asset manager if you should buy real estate that moves $3 million out of his portfolio or invest with him, he's going to say that. But you can read like Tony Robbins books or Schwab studies. If you miss over a 5-year period, if you miss like the 20 best trading days, your returns go from like here to almost nothing.
Yeah.
So you have to be so perfect to beat the market. Mm-hmm. And studies show that about 6% of people beat the market, and a lot of them doing it by luck. They put all their money into NVIDIA because they like video games or something. The people who skillfully beat the market, it's got to be 1 or 2%.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm going to say out of 100, I'm not that guy. But I can do well and buy real estate. I can be dumb and be a millionaire. So that's what I do. I'm a dumb millionaire. Well, I'm not yet, but we'll see. How often do y'all go live? We try to do it every Tuesday. We're a little late today. So if you don't normally catch us, it's because we're so late. You already answered that. You should never deal with the listing agent directly when considering a property, right? I don't recommend it. On that note, if I'm the listing agent and the person comes directly to me, I will not represent both sides. It's impossible for me to represent my seller with full fiduciary commitment, but also help you. I can't. I literally have to screw you over in certain instances.
You have to get, the agent is either trying to get the best for their seller or the best for their buyer.
And can't do both.
And so you have to know that when you're talking directly to we have a friend that keeps doing that. But you have to know that when you go directly to the seller's agent, that the
9-month escrow,
right.
The 1-year escrow. Yeah.
Right.
I was glad I got cut out of that one.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, though, because there's a seller recently who had a little apprehension because our team, Kenny, was writing the offer for their home. There are instances. Now, Derek would never be on the buy and sell side. I won't do that. But I might be on the listing side and Aiden or Mahi or Kenny are on the buy side. And I'll tell you, Mahi and I have like scrapped when she's on the buyer side. She still goes to bat for her clients.
Right.
And there are instances.
Because that's her
fiduciary.
That's her client.
That's
like
her client.
It's not like, even though you guys are on the same team, like she's representing the buyer.
And she don't hold back.
Right.
But here's the other thing about that. When we're talking about these off-market deals, they're unique. So like this one in Kunia, it was a person who doesn't have a great equity position, whose home is not worth what they hope it would be worth, but they have the ability to let a veteran assume the loan. We had a veteran buyer who was kind of, I could go Eva, Couple A, Kunia, I could go wherever. I would love that 2% interest rate. And they had $400,000 in cash. So even though the loan was only $600,000, but the home was worth $800,000, that $200,000 delta, the home was worth $800,000, the loan was $600,000. They could come up with $200,000. Not a lot of VA buyers can do that.
Right.
We had this unique solution. We're going to get them more than the market would have yielded them. But it worked for the buyer because they're like, 2.25, I'll make up for it within X amount of time. The seller is going to make more than they otherwise would. There are times where core team puts together a unique thing, and I'm fine with it. That's great.
Right.
I'm not only fine with it, I brag about that.
Yeah.
But I will never be on both sides of a loan or of a transaction. Jody, although they can't do that, but if Jody was a real estate agent / lender, which no wildly successful real estate agents are lenders and no wildly successful lenders are real estate agents, less, other people do it, but it's not common. But you would never represent both sides because you can't do it. It's
You
just
can't
it's
do
simple.
it. Like, you just can't do it. You can't get the best for the seller and get the best for the buyer.
You can't.
You need your own representation.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're out. Thank you. We'll see you next Tuesday, and stay tuned to the channel. I would say from now to the end of the year, you're gonna see our studio develop. But we have a really cool studio.
Yay.
Walls going up right now, and in a couple of weeks, you'll probably see us in there. All right, guys.